Hello everyone and welcome to ACCA Performance Management webinar for June 26 attempt, and this is your instructor Rizwan Maniya. I hope you are doing well, uh, and this session will be useful I'm sure, and I'll give my best and we'll make sure that this session gives you more confidence and more importantly helps you to pass in the upcoming exam. Okay, so let's begin with the webinar for performance management. People have benefited a lot in the past in these webinars, and because we focus a lot on exam tips, we focus a lot on exam technique, so all this did help them to pass in PM. Again, this time I'll try my level best to make things more easy, simple for you people, so that you are able to handle those things properly. Okay, so before I proceed, I need a quick confirmation. Is my voice clear to all of you? Can you see the screen, the sound, everything is perfectly fine? Please, can you guys confirm in the chat box? Great. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Okay. So, all right. Thank you very much for the confirmation. That's it. Now, first of all, about myself, my teaching experience has been more than 18 years. I teach paper PM, FM, and APM. Uh, I now recently been teaching international students online through VIFHE's platform. I have conducted lots and lots of webinars for this paper, 9 webinars for uh, 9 webinars for PM through ACCA platform, and the remaining through VIFHE's platform. So this is my 22nd webinar of performance management. So lot of things I've done for this paper since last 18 years. I'm working a lot on this paper, still making things more easy and simple. So whatever new updates will be there, I will be sharing with you people as I'm working on few important things in relation to this exam. Okay. So many of my students have secured positions in the 3 papers that I teach. So they became position holders nationwide in their countries. These are the recent positions of PM. Those students got positions in performance management. You can see a list of recent students getting position in this paper. So you can be the next position holder as well if you studied the right direction, you follow the plans. So you can be the next position holder in your part of the world. Okay. All right. So, do you want to be? If yes, then please make sure that you are following the plans. You still have lots of days left. Just you have to make sure that you follow the things accordingly, the plans accordingly. Okay. Now, how to remain connected with me during the webinar? So there is a chat box available here. You can see through which you just confirmed me in relation to sound and everything. This is the chat box that you guys will be using throughout the session in order to communicate. Whatever I'll ask you, you have to respond me here. It's a very simple rule of thumb. You just have to ask any questions you have to, you can, but don't ask in between. I'm explaining. You can ask once I give you the opportunity. You can ask at that time. This is my number. You can contact me for any help, support uh, at this number, because I'm the principal here. So you can contact me at this number as well for any other help, feedback, guidance, whatever you need. We have a global PM WhatsApp community. So if you're not part of that global community, make sure you do become part of that global community. If you're not part of the latest PM global groups, so make sure you get into those groups as well. So I'm sharing the link of the group the team has just shared in the chat box. You can see they have shared the PM global uh, group link. Plus, there is also a link of free resources that we offer at VIFHE, so you can just access to those free resources as well. Plus, the global group link is also shared in the chat box. You can join the group as per your own convenience. Those who will be watching the video later on, those who will watch in form of recordings and they don't have the live links, they can contact the VIFHE admission department, and those will be happy to provide you the same group link. Okay, you can even contact me if they don't reply you, but I'm sure they will reply, so you will get the links from there as well. So please make sure you are part of the latest groups so that all the important updates in relation to upcoming exam, all important resources that I'll be sharing in relation to upcoming exams, you should have the access to those. All right. And on top of it, the free resources that we provide every time, the link has been shared here as well. If you will watch in form of recordings, you can ask the admission team the number I've shared with you people. They will be more than happy to share the details with you. Okay. All right. Now, the passing ratio of this paper, PM, last 10 attempts. So let's have a quick look at the passing ratio of last 10 attempts for this paper, and let's see what the trend is going on. So if you just see here, starting from the first one, December 23, then moving on to the next attempts, and the latest one, March 26. Okay. So if you can see here, the trend clearly indicates that March 26 had the highest passing ratio in last 10 attempts. In fact, second highest, because March 24 also had 45. So you can see in March 24, the passing ratio was 45. After exact 2 years, the passing ratio again went to 45. So March has some sort of a trend. I feel like it's something magical in March. Anyways, that's just a joke. It's not the case. It's all dependent on your own effort and how you have given the examination. The best part I see in this trend is the the passing ratio almost every time has been more than 40%, which is a good thing for this paper, because if you look back before these 10 attempts, you will see passing ratio going below 40 as well. So this is a good sign, I would say, a good opportunity to be to continue with the momentum. Just work hard, study in the right direction, and I'm sure you will also pass in the upcoming June 26 attempt. Okay. Now, I'll start with a quick, very important discussion, and that relates to major reason for failures, why people fail in the examination. But before that, I just want to ask, first of all, how many people who right now are in the session are giving paper for the first time? So first timers, can you please mention here how many of you are giving paper for the first time? First timers, please, can you mention here in the chat box? Just write it, first timers. Okay, thank you. Thanks for your responses. Now, those who are giving a reattempt, please can you mention here the reattempt students? The reattempt students. First timers and the resit students. A clear cut message for the first timers. This is your first time. This is your first time, and this should be your last time. This should be your last time, okay? Yes, what do you think? Yes or no? Great. And those students who are giving paper, again, it's a reset for them, okay? So those students, if it's your reset for you, then please learn from your mistakes. The mistakes you have done in the past, don't repeat it. So you have to learn it. It's something that you can easily do. It's something not impossible for anyone. It's easily manageable, easily doable. You just have to make sure that you covered the weaknesses that you were facing last time, and very importantly, the most important thing is change your approach. Change your approach. You have to change your approach. Things that you were doing before, you should change the way you are studying now and focus on your weaker areas. For you, an important thing that I'll be discussing in a while is your My Exam Performance Report. It's a biggest tool to learn what you have done wrong in the past. Okay? Right. Thank you very much for your inputs. The paper-wise structure, just to show you in basic what the paper structure is. This is a 3-hour exam. This is a 3-hour exam that you have to do in 18 minutes. Sorry, not 18 minutes, 180 minutes you have. So approximately, if you see here, 3 hours, 180 minutes, you have to attempt the paper in 180 minutes. You have to solve 100 marks in 180 minutes, which means you have 1.8 minute per mark. 1.8 minute per mark is what you have. So if you have 1.8 minute per mark, this is the time frame that you have to keep in your mind. Okay, your entire practice should be done in 1.8 minute per mark frame. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick standard here. 30 marks for section A. You guys know it, which means if I multiply this with 1.8, so you have allotted time available 54 minutes. Now, this is what I'll be focusing a lot in the webinar. That's why I'm just writing the standards here. Section B, again 30 marks. So 30 into 1.8 gives you 54 minutes. Okay, so you have 54 minutes here as well. Then 2 constructed response questions. In that case, it's 40 marks into 1.8 means you have 72 minutes for this. So 54 minutes for section A, 54 minutes for section B, and 72 minutes for section C is what you have. All right? Clear, everyone? Done. So just keep this in your mind. Just keep this in your mind, because this is all what I'll be discussing throughout the webinar. I'll be using this time frame whenever we are solving questions. In relation to the syllabus area, these are the 5 key areas of your syllabus. Okay, and you can see here, advanced costing technique will be tested in CRQs, 20 marks CRQs. Sorry, will not be tested in 20 marks CRQs, which means this is the only major section that you can expect to come in section A, and you can expect to come in section B. Yes, one area of advanced costing technique that relates to sustainability reporting and EMA. Okay, sustainability reporting and EMA, in this section you may expect that theoretical area to be tested in CRQs. Other than that, major topics like ABC, target, life cycle, and throughput accounting is something that will be tested in section A and B. Other than that, everything can come in section C, CRQs. Everything can be tested in CRQs other than this, and you just have to prepare yourself properly in relation to all the areas. Yes, if you just want me to come up with few guesses, I can. Performance measurement, one question you can expect to come from performance measurement, one question you can expect coming in CRQs. So for CRQs, one question is very much on high cards as always, that is performance measurement. The other CRQ question may come from decision making, okay, or budgeting and control, which includes budgets and variances, okay. Now, for section B, as I did mention, advanced costing technique area is something that will not come in CRQ. So you can expect one question coming from the area of advanced costing technique. Then the remaining two questions obviously would be coming from the area of budgeting, variances and decision making, depending which other CRQ is relating to which topic. Like for example, if decision making, it could be anything actually, to be honest, because in decision making there are 5 topics as well. In budget control there are so many areas. So maybe I can say that if they have tested variances in CRQ, then budgets can come in section B with decision making, okay. But for section A, you should be very much clear in your mind that section A can come from any area of your exam. Okay, section A can come from any area of your exam. So you have to be prepared for section A from all the areas, right? Done. Now, major reasons for failure. This is very important, very crucial thing I wanted to bring in front of you people. Those who are giving paper for the first time, for you, this is very important because you don't end up doing such mistakes. And those who were not able to pass in the last attempt, for you, it's everything. It's everything for you people. Okay, so you have to make sure that you again don't repeat it. So certain important things that I'll be highlighting here. Major reason for failure. Number one, not understanding the question requirement. This is very much related to CRQ. You can't see the screen. Is the screen not visible to you people? Okay, it got stuck. Is it stuck for all of you? Okay, why you are not mentioning here then? Let me ask, it is visible to you. Can you see the writing part? Whatever I'm writing here. So let's begin again from the major reasons for failure document. The first is not understanding the question requirement. Mainly pertains to CRQs. Constructed response questions. Students are struggling. I have seen a lot of students, my exam performance report, and I have seen CRQ not done properly. Both the questions or at least one out of 2 they haven't performed well. So please make sure that you focus on your weaker areas, and if theory is problem and question understanding is your problem, then please put effort in that area. Okay, you need to understand examinable verbs like discuss, assess, compare, justify, explain. You need to know the meanings of these verbs. And what is the element, the object for which the verbs has been used is also what you need to figure it out. Okay? So you need to break the question into smaller parts. I'll show you how to do this. I will break it. I'll tell you what examinable verb objects are. Because if you take the first step correctly, if you are at the right direction from the start, then automatically your answer will be correct. You will not be misguided. You will not be distracted. You will not miss your direction. Because if you are not clear what verbs and objects are, your answer goes in the wrong direction. That is not acceptable at all. That is not acceptable at all. Okay? Done. Then time management problem. Very common issue. For this, I did mention earlier 1.8 minutes per mark criteria. Do remember, Section A question should be done in 54 minutes. Section B question should be done in 54 minutes. Section C CRQ should be done in 72 minutes. I'll try to cover the techniques through which you can ensure you solve within the time frame. Selective study, it's your own problem. You still have more than a month in the examination. So if you are not covering the syllabus properly, if you are missing out things, especially for Section A OTs, you can't ignore few topics. Maybe the topics that you don't like, you have to cover it. Lack of practice. You have covered the areas, but you didn't do practice. Practice gives you the confidence. If you need confidence, then practice is key. Cannot handle mixed questions. Yes, in PM paper, there is a problem, or this is what examiner does very commonly. They do come up with mixed questions. One question of Section B, 5 OTs of Section B, 2 relates to relevant costing, 3 would relate to limiting factor. They make scenarios where they can shift from one area to the other one easily. And the best solution to handle those is what? Is practice. Number 2, reading the question properly, reading the scenario properly, so that you should know which information pertains to which question, which information pertains to which topic. Okay? You will see lot of Section B question that are mixed questions. Failing to use brought forward knowledge. Again, you have given your MA exam, it doesn't mean now you have to throw the entire knowledge in dustbin. Examiner may test you. Okay? Then your My Exam Performance Report is one area through which you can figure out what is going wrong. All the students who didn't manage to pass, it is important for them to learn from their mistakes. So your My Exam Performance Report is a blessing. It's a tool that will teach you where things are going wrong. It does bifurcate your skill sets into application, knowledge-based, narrative, calculation. So please do refer to My Exam Performance Report, those who did not pass, and I'll give you a very special guidance once I move ahead in relation to this MAP report today. Fail to grab easy numbers. Just realize it, understand it, that there are easy marks available. There are easy numbers available. In examination, not everything is a bouncer question. Not everything is an in-swinging Yorker. There are things that one can do. Don't consider entire 100 marks to be very difficult. Every section, like section A, section B, section C, each and every area, you will have some free marks, some easy marks available. You should have eyes to figure it out. So I'll try to ensure that you do understand in these webinars where easy numbers are. Students are massively struggling in performance measurement question that pertains to CRQ. Yes, I have seen this. 15% marks, 20% marks, 30% marks. The score is so low that you cannot pass the exam. Performance measurement is creating huge trouble for the students. And I will target this performance measurement in these 2 days of webinar for sure. Okay? Overcomplicating simple things because you don't have the confidence. And from where will you get that confidence? You don't need to buy it. You just need to practice. Practice. Okay? So remember, the paper is not difficult because there are easy numbers available. Target first easy 50 marks. Target the easy numbers. Target first easy 50 marks that will give you a pass at least. Are you with me? Say yes or no in the chat box. Are you all listening me? Can you see the list of major reasons for failure? Just think which problem you think you are suffering from. Just write in the chat box, please. Let me see how many will select how many reasons for failure. What do you think you have to improve in those areas? Come on. In the chat box, yeah, we can see lack of practice is one reason. Time management, lack of practice. Let's find out the common reasons. Everyone, please. CRQ questions, MTQ, CRQ, lack of practice, lack of practice. You know the reasons here. MTQs, lack of practice. See, when you know things, why don't you work on those problems? CRQs, time management. Okay, so let's find out the solutions for these. Now, the scope of this webinar will be again same. Knowledge base to be covered, approximately 20%, more to be covered in relation to the practice side. We will learn techniques, we'll target section C, B and A. Okay. I will focus on drafting skills in relation to CRQs where people are struggling. Right? Webinar day-wise plan. Day 1, the focus will be on section C question, section A question, and if we will have time, then B and then A. Day 2, we'll target all these 3 areas for sure. Okay. So 2 days are completely free for the students. And everybody of you can take benefits from these 2 days. Then we will be having our revision camp starting from Wednesday. Today is Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. From Wednesday, we are starting our revision camp. Now, this revision camp is only valid for the students who are doing self-study. who are doing self-study, or those who took the sessions with me before or somewhere else and they did not pass, they can come into this revision camp. The students who are part of my paid batch, my reset batch, you don't have to enroll again. Everything for you is already covered and you automatically are eligible for this. Okay, so no need to be worried about this revision camp. Now, those who did not pass in the last attempt or any previous attempts or doing self-study, giving paper for the first time, revision camp will help you. Why? Because number one, it is concentrated towards the important areas for exam only. 25 to 30 important areas of the exam is what we are targeting in this revision camp. So it includes those topics, pre-recorded content, the knowledge-based, for your knowledge development, concept development. On top of it, past exam questions, past exam practice material, which is very important for your understanding purpose. Then this includes 2 mocks with debrief sessions. We will conduct the mock, we'll conduct debrief for you. One will be a live mock with live debrief, and we'll mark that mock for you as well. Mark that mock for you as well. The other will be a complimentary mock with a recorded debrief. Okay. Then comes grand revision. Previously, this revision was free in the webinar, like it used to be our 3rd day, but now it is part of the revision camp. So this revision will be a very useful revision. In 2.5 to 3 hours, we'll recap the knowledge-based areas. Okay. So all the self-study student, either they have given the paper before or they are giving for the first time, this revision camp will boost your preparation, will be a fire at the end which is required to pass the exam. So you can contact our admission department at this number. Here the number is, I'm sure, very visible. If it is not, I can write a bit bigger for you. Okay. Or you can visit the website directly, because if you go to the website, you select the course and everything is very much available there. You don't need any coupon code because this we are offering at a massive discount. Okay, massive discount. So you just have to pay a very minimum price for this, and in return you get lot of things. This is total value for money. So you can go to the website. You don't have to contact anyone. Just buy the revision camp directly from the website and you will automatically get the access to the course. There will be a planner available, very similar to this planner. This planner is what we have given to the revision students, and we have also shared this with the regular students. According to this planner, the entire last month has been designed for you people. So from the day of access till 20th May, you have to try to cover the top 20 to 25 important areas. Okay. So you'll be getting the recorded sessions, as I mentioned earlier, the practice question videos, you will get complete notes, you will get theory drafting articles. Okay. $1 million cheat sheet will be available for you. which will include all the $1 million points that I teach and the formulas. Okay. Then today is 4th May. We have the webinar from today. We have another day 2 tomorrow. Then 5th and 6th May, you guys have to watch the March 26 webinar as part of the plan. March 26 webinar. Very important one. See, 6 hours of these 2 days, 6 hours of March, 12 hours of free content will also help you a lot. Then we'll have a grand revision on 18th May and 21st May. You will have your first live mock, followed by a debrief session on 22nd May, then complimentary mock after that, with a complimentary debrief, and your result will be announced on 24th. The mock result, okay? Mock result. So I hope this is clear to all of you. The plan is clear to all of you. Yes or no? Okay. So according to this plan, all the regular revision students will follow this plan, and through this plan we'll be completing everything in the last month. Stay connected, and if interested, contact the admission department for this revision camp. All right then. Now, smart paper solving technique. I always believe in passing the paper in a smarter way. So how to pass paper in a smarter way? Yes, doubt support will be for the revision students, okay? You will be part of our proper class WhatsApp group, and your queries will be responded. Now, smart paper solving techniques. First of all, the focus should be on finding easy marks in section A, easy marks in section B, easy marks in section C. There are easy marks available, yaar. You just focus on it. I will guide you. First of all, easy marks actually depends person to person as well. My preparation in one area is very good, so that particular area question would be easier for me. It is subjective, but there are certain questions that are very easy to solve. If a student has done a reasonable preparation, you can handle it. I do agree, easy numbers will vary person to person. That is totally acceptable. But there are easy marks available. So please, we need to focus on these. Now, a very important video available on VIFHE's YouTube channel. I have shared the link as well. I'll be sharing this entire webinar's materials with you people in the WhatsApp group. I just gave you the link before. So everything will be shared there. So this is the link of examinable verb video. Watch it to understand what the verb means. Discuss, explain, assess, justify, recommend, advise, briefly discuss what exactly these verbs mean. Okay? Then, to ensure you grab 50 easy marks, you grab 50 easy marks through the technique of smart paper solving. You can watch this video, also available on VIFHE's YouTube channel. This will give you more clarity how to handle it. Then read the Marker's Mind video. This is very useful for understanding CRQ marking of the examiner. So again, you can go to this link all these videos I have made for you people to make it easy and simple. Now, the latest video is this one. Very recently, I've recorded a video in relation to my exam performance report. And why I did that is because students do send me and maybe other tutors your my exam performance report by mentioning that we are not sure why are we failing the exam. So we don't know what is the reason for not passing the paper. Yes? Even though your my exam performance report is there, you send this report to your tutors and you expect them to analyze it for you and tell you the reason. That's totally acceptable. Fine, I do this. But then I thought a document that ACCA has given you people, why you cannot use it on your own? Why you cannot figure out your areas of weaknesses? Because if you get to know that why you failed the paper, you can directly focus on those weak areas. Khalas. So this is a very crucial video. Do watch it. I've explained how to use your My Exam Performance report that will give you the clarity that how you can do the analysis, which area you think is good, bad, average, strong, where are you struggling, is it time management the reason, CRQ the reason, MTQ the reason, section A OT is the reason, is knowledge based the reason, application based the reason, narrative the reason, everything will be very clear. So please, this is a new addition, a recent video that I did. Just click it and watch it. And those who did not pass in the previous attempt or attempts, just look at your exam report after that. First watch the video, then understand your report, and then the areas where you think, okay, I'm bad here. My time management in A was not good. I did lack in CRQ performance measurement. Focus on those things. You still have lot of days, which means the remaining month you can spend on your weaker areas and practicing those areas. I always say to my students who have joined me after the result, who will join me in the revision camp, my message is clear. If you did not pass, look at your My Exam Performance report, learn how to analyze with me, and then focus on those topics first once you get the course access. Is knowledge the weakness? Watch the conceptual based videos of those areas. Is practice the problem? My portal contained hundreds of questions. Solve those questions and compare with my video to see where you are doing wrong. Okay. Last, no question spotting, but not the least, no question spotting. Important chapters to read minimum, especially for section A from Study Hub. This is for self-study student. Those who are paid students, for you the notes are enough. You watch, you read notes, you have detailed notes, you have summarized notes, you have everything. For you, it's not relevant, but those who are doing self-study, this is a snapshot of Study Hub. So at least minimum, you should read these areas so that you can handle section A, maybe section B OTs in a reasonable way at least. So areas that you should read for further clarity, for further understanding, for further ensuring that you pass the exam are these areas where I feel you need to make it more better for your own self. Okay? And you can read any other area other than this in which you are not good at. Right? Done. Minimum chapters I mentioned here. Today's topic, variances, and that too planning and operation, because this is the most hot favorite area of your examiner, followed by limiting factor, single limiting factor, multiple limiting factor, in short, linear programming. Okay, let's begin with planning and operational variances, the first revision part, and then we'll move towards the practice. Let's start the recap, everyone. Are you with me? Yes or no? Going good so far? Feedbacks, emoji based feedbacks. Hearts, thumbs ups. Yeah, that's good. Okay, great. Now let's begin with the first area, planning and operational variances. Planning and operational variances. Now, see, in variances, previously, we never used to consider that standards, the targets that are given could ever be problematic. We never used to think about it. For us, variance was a simple case. There is a target, there is a standard, we compare it with actual, we get the difference, that's the variance. Khalas. Now we get variance of material, labor, sales, whatever it is. We used to get this variance. Now if the problem is with sales, we used to bring sales manager on the table, we used to slap him or her. In case of her, may not be the case. We used to scold them. If problem is it material price, we used to bring them, blame them. Material usage, bring them, blame them, because for us the problem in all the cases were these managers, operational people, operational managers, sales, purchase, production. These were the problematic people for us. Okay, so we used to be harsh on them in case of adverse variance. In case of favorable variances, these were the people who used to receive bonuses, right? But then came a realization that the variances that we are calculating, okay, and you know what variance and how we calculate a variance? Very simple. It's standard minus actual, that's it. So then we realize that sometimes the standard that we are using to compare with actual, this standard at first place is not correct. Either this standard is too high, too low. So if standard against which you are comparing the performance itself is problematic, is a one that is not reflecting the true condition, how can I compare with the actual results? How can I compare with the actual result? I cannot. So that is why, if now who will establish the standards? It's the organization planning team. The people who are in finance, maybe they budget, they make targets, they may set the standards, and if they have done any mistake, it's very much possible. Wrong market anticipation, wrong forecasting done, not understanding the business situation. So if you make a wrong standard, let it be for material, for labor, for sales, your performance against this will not reflect the true performance. So if that is the case, if that is the matter, if the standards set by the planning team are not realistically achievable, are not accurate, your variance will not be useful. So in that case, if there is a doubt that standard is not correct, like for material price, inflation was not incorporated properly, for sales volume, we didn't anticipate the market properly, wrong standard was made, for labor, we didn't incorporated the revised specification. Okay, so if that is the case, we will break the variance into planning and operational components. This variance will be bifurcated into planning variance and operational variance. Planning variance will reflect planning errors. Operational variance will reflect real performance, of operational team. Real performance of operational team. Okay. So planning errors reflected by planning variances. Operational errors or operational real performance reflected by operational variances. Got it? Now this problem may arise for material, for labor, for sales, anything. Okay? Clear everyone? Okay. Now, for you, what is important in the examination is to determine whether planning operational relates to material, labor or sales. That's very much obvious and clear. On top of it, the most important thing that you have to keep in your mind is whenever you are calculating the planning variance, so remember, for planning variance, you are comparing the original standard with the revised standard. OS versus RS. OS is what? Original standard. RS is what? Revised standard. What is original standard? The one that was made at the start of the year. Original standard. The one that was made at the start of the year. What is revised standard? The one that should be the standard. You thought inflation to be 3%, but it was 5%. You thought market size to be 10 million, but it was 15 million. Revised means this should have been the standard. So planning variance reflects planning error. Error in making the standard. And which two standards will reflect the planning error? The one that was made at the start of the year, the one that was made at the start of the year versus the one that should be the standard. At the start of the year. Okay? Understood? Inflation we thought 3% but was 5%. 3% is original standard based, 5% is revised standard based. Done. Then operational variances that reflects real performance will only reflect real performance when you compare this with revised standard versus actual. Revised standard versus actual. Revised standard versus actual. Okay. So planning variance is O, original standard versus revised standard. Operational variance is revised standard versus actual result. Actual result. So those who want to remember, they are not clear about planning operational, remember a simple rule by Rizwan Maniya. Operational variance R versus A. Come on, write in the chat box, everyone with me. R versus A. R versus A. Write in the chat box here. Yeah, everybody. R versus A. If it is a planning variance, O versus R, O versus R, fight between two standards. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, done. Now, some specific details. In sales, planning operational variance may relate to selling price or may relate to volume, sales volume or sales price variance. If it relates to volume, so you will bifurcate volume into planning and operational, as you can do with price. But one thing important, for sales volume variance, sales volume planning variance is known as market size variance, and sales volume operational is known as market share variance. So these are specific dedicated names for sales volume planning and operational. Nicknames. We call it nicknames. You have nicknames, yeah? So these are nicknames. So market size is planning, market share is operational, and these nicknames only relate to sales volume variance. Khalas. Remember a rule, because this is a $1 million rule in exam questions. When you are facing planning operational questions, in exam, when you are facing planning operational questions, the most important thing in the exam question to start first with is to look at the factors that are outside the control of sales manager, purchase manager, production manager. These three are known as operational managers. What? Say operational managers. Say with me, operational managers. When I say with me, it means you have to write in the chat box. So everybody should write with me then. So when I say operational managers, sales, purchase, production. So when you are reading the examination scenario, the $1 million point is find out things, find out factors which are outside the control of operational team. Outside the control of sales manager, outside the control of production manager, outside the control of purchase manager. Okay? Uncontrollable, outside the control of operational managers. Once you find it, once you found out those factors, for that area, for those factors, you will revise the standard. You will revise the standard retrospectively. Revise the standard retrospectively. What is retrospectively? Not for future. Don't revise the standard that from now onwards this will be the standard. No. Retrospectively means revise the standard as if this was the standard start of the year. This was the standard start of the year. So the rule is URO, uncontrollable factors for the operational team will be revised retrospectively. Uncontrollable factors for the operational team will be revised retrospectively. Uncontrollable factors for the operational team will be revised retrospectively. So what is the rule? Uncontrollable factors will be for the operational team will be revised retrospectively. UOR. UOR. Say with me, UOR. Everyone, UOR. UOR. Come on, be fast here, be fast. All right. So it's now time to move towards our first question for this webinar. UOR, okay? The tips and tricks, find verbs and objects. If it is a CRQ question, find verbs and objects. While reading the scenario, find verbs and objects and look for extra requirements by the word and. And in a question, you will see the word and. If you see word and, this means there are extra requirements. I'll just demonstrate it for you people. Number 2, consider the marks available for each requirement. 6 mark requirement, 6 into 1.8, 10 mark requirement, 10 into 1.8, 15 mark requirement, 15 into 1.8. Okay? You should know how much time I have to spend on it. Once it's a 10 mark requirement, the max I will spend is 18 minutes. I'll try my best to be below 18 minutes, but I will not cross 18 minutes until and unless I have something already spare with me. Spare with me, which means if some previous questions that you have done quickly, if you have some extra time from those questions available, then you can spend on the difficult one. But you cannot steal the time of other questions. If you have some spare time available, spend on these ones. Otherwise, 18 minutes, khalas. Move on, move on, move on. Theory drafting in multiple paragraphs. Use headings if possible. I'll demonstrate that as well. Use spreadsheet to your advantage. This will save your time. I will again demonstrate you this in a while. Remember to solve a CRQ in 36 minutes. Are you ready? Yes. Try to solve below 36 minutes. And the use of a spreadsheet will help you to do it. Start. This is a very $1 million trick. Start with easy CRQ first to save time. Easy CRQ first to save time. Now, which is a easy CRQ? There are 2 CRQs in the paper. Start with the easy CRQ, which means out of the 2, the one that you feel you are more good at. Maybe one is variance, other is performance measurement. You are good in variance. So start with your strength area, because if you start with your strength area, there is a huge chance, massive chance that you will save your time. You may end up doing in 30 minutes. You may end up doing in 25 minutes. You may end up doing in 20 minutes. If you are left with 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes extra, why not use this time at some other place? Okay? In some difficult area. Remember, out of 42 CRQs, the minimum you need to pass is 20. Let's more simplify it. One CRQ has a weightage of 20 marks. Remember, 10 you need to achieve to pass it. 10. Target first 10 easy marks. If you pass in one CRQ, if you get 11 in one CRQ, if you get 10 in other CRQ, still you will pass, yaar. Still you will pass. Don't put pressure to bring position. Leave it. Let's pass the exam. Let's lift the passing ratio. Let's pass the paper. That's it. I want you to pass. I want you to pass. I'll put whatever effort I need to make this easy and easy and easy for you. That's my promise to you. Okay? Done. So done with some important tips and tricks, everyone. Are you ready? Let's start with the first question. Say yes or no. Enjoying? Going good so far? All right. That's nice. So here we are. The first question. Medical temp company. Now, whenever you are dealing with a CRQ, my friends, whenever you are dealing with a CRQ, remember the rule. Read examinable verbs. Sorry, read the requirement. Read the requirement. Read the requirement and find out verbs and objects. Find out verbs and objects. Step one, let's perform it. Explain why businesses calculate market size and market share variance. So examinable verb is explain. What to explain? What to explain is the object. The word why is very crucial. Why businesses calculate size and share variance. Why businesses calculate size and share variance. You have to tell the reason why we calculate size and share variance. In short, why we calculate planning and operational variance. Khalas. Okay? Happy? Planning and operational variance. So, why we calculate planning and operational variance for 4 marks. So, find out verb, explain. Find out object, why we calculate. Look at the marks, marks are 4. Look at the marks, marks are 4. You need to write for planning and operational. So 2 marks for market size, 2 marks for market share. That's it, khalas. Market size, 2 market share. Done with the first requirement. Next, calculate is the examinable verb. Calculate is the examinable verb. Market size planning variance. Market size planning variance. Market share operational variance. Verb, calculate. Object, market size planning of market share operational variance for 10 marks. Look at the marks then. First look at the verb, then the object, then the marks. Marks are 10, which means 5 marks approximately for size, 5 marks approximately for share. Khalas. Next question. Discuss the actions of sales director at Cheatco. Cheatco. The name is Cheat. And how this may have impacted on the variances which have been calculated for 6 marks. Now, let's first highlight verbs and objects. First verb is discuss. What to discuss? Object, element, object, element. Actions of sales director at Cheat Company. Actions of sales director at Cheat Company. Okay? So this is the object. Then there is a word and. And means extra requirement. For 6 marks, you will not just get by writing the first part. And how this may have impacted on the variances which have been calculated. So there is no other verb, but it's just the object. The other object is how this may have impacted. The word how, you know what how means? How, okay? How this impacted the variances that they have calculated. So you have to answer this as well. There are 2 requirements, 1 verb, 2 objects, 1 verb, 2 elements. Discuss, verb number 1, what to discuss? Actions of sales director, object number 1. Number 2, how this will impact the variances, object number 2. 6 marks. To get 6 marks, you need to target both the objects, Okay? I'll come to another thing after reading the scenario relating to the theoretical questions. One more thing I need to tell you for theoretical questions. I'll come to that later on. Let's start reading the requirement, the scenario first. Medical Temp is one of the several agencies in Sictopia supplying medical staff, both nurses and doctors, under temporary weekly contract to local hospitals. So understand the scenario, the business, okay? Information regarding the size of the market in S is as follows. Size of the market. Size of the market means the overall market. The overall market, okay? Is 14 million, 14 million for nurses, 8 million for doctors in quarter 1. In quarter 2, 18.9 and 8.2. The increase in national market for supply of temporary nurses is due to shortage of full-time nurses. Okay, that's why I can see the demand of nurse has gone up from 14 to 18.9. All agencies in S, including MTC, charge a single market rate. Charge a single market rate for the supply of each staff, that is $1,000 per week for supplying a nurse and $2,000 per week for supplying a doctor. An apple a day keeps a doctor away. An apple a day keeps a doctor away. So let's see, does apple works or not? In quarter 1, MTC held 30% of the market for the supply of temporary staff, all right, and 40% of the supply of temporary doctors. Very nice. MTC uses quarterly rolling budgets. At the end of the quarter 1, it prepared its budgeted revenue figures for quarter 2. Okay. It based these figures on the assumption that the company would continue to maintain the market share it had in quarter 1. Very nice. It also assumed that it would maintain its standard contribution margin of 80% for both nurses and the doctors. Total revenue from supply of nurses, actual given, actual contribution margin for both nurses and doctors 75%. The part of this scenario relates to requirement C that I'll read once I come to section C or requirement C. Let's not create a fuss right now, okay? So now let's start with the first requirement first, okay? So what is the first requirement? The first requirement is very crucial, and this first requirement is in relation to explain why business calculate market size and market share variance. All right. So we have to write theory about it. Now, what theory will we write in this case, everyone? We have to explain market size and market share. What to write, guys? Any idea? Yes, very simple. Very simple. The sales volume variance will be divided into market size and market share variance when there when the standards for volume are not accurate. Okay, that is when there is error in standards so to judge the performance accurately, the volume variance will be bifurcated into size and share variance. Okay, now a starting point I just mentioned here. Now I'll use a heading of sales, or I'll use the heading of size variance. Now I'll explain what size variance is. Market size variance will indicate the planning error in relation to volume variance. For example, wrong anticipation in relation to market size. For example, wrong anticipation of overall market will result in wrong volume wrong budgeted volume for the company. Is that right, everyone? Yes or no? So, to separately assess the impact of such wrong anticipation, market size variance is calculated as the operational team like sales manager are not responsible for this variance. Okay, because this was outside their control. As this was outside their control. Done. Now Next, share variance. Hello. This variance will reflect the true performance of the operational team, that is sales manager, as this variance is based on revised standard compared to actual, will indicate the real performance of operational team for which they are responsible and accountable. Khalas. Guys, are you with me? Say yes or no. Now all this you can write it properly in form of paragraph. You can see the drafting part. Now, whenever you are dealing with theoretical question, the first tip that I told you is to break this into verbs and objects. Yes or no? Yes. 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 Verbs and objects. Is to break into verbs and objects. Okay? The next thing that you have to consider is this question knowledge based or application based? Knowledge based or application based? Now, what is a knowledge based question? Knowledge based question, the one in which you just have to write about knowledge based concept like market size. What is market size? You explain market size. Okay? Market share, you explain market share. And why are you calculating? I've already mentioned it. To judge the real performance of the team. Okay, to judge the real performance. That is the reason. That is the reason why business will calculate market size and share. Then I explained what market size variance and market share variance is, and through this you can actually understand the real performance of the team. That is why we calculate it. Okay. So this is a knowledge-based question, which doesn't require anything to be connected with the scenario. And the other type is application-based question. Application, where you need to apply, your knowledge in the scenario. You have to relate with the scenario. So that is application-based. So whenever you are dealing with theoretical questions of CRQ, the first thing is to look at verbs and objects. Number two, is it knowledge-based or application-based? And the marks then. Okay. So I'll show you the example of application-based in a while in the same question as we move on. For now, I think this is clear to all of you guys. Say yes or no. Happy? Going good? Great. It's time for break, everyone. Let's take a break for 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we'll be back. And after 10 minutes, we will complete this question and will further move on towards our next area and next question. Now, next requirement. Calculate market size planning, market share operational variance. Let's start then calculation. Okay. Now, market size and market share variance, which means actually we have to uh, bifurcate volume into planning and operational. Okay. Now, if you just recall, and if you are new, as far as I am concerned, then a simple rule or $1,000,000 point that I always tell students to focus on is find factors outside the control of operational team. Once you have these factors that are outside their control, for those factors you need to revise the standard. Okay. And it is very nice if you make a standard cost card at the initial phase, because once you make a standard cost card, then it's simple peanuts. That's it. Peanuts. That's it. Okay. So let's look at the details. Now, in quarter one, the demand of temporary nurses was 14 million, which went on to 18.9 million in quarter two. Whereas quarter one demand for temporary doctors was 8 and went up to 8.2. Now it says here the increase in the national market for the supply of temporary nurses is due to shortage of full-time nurses in S. Now just decide. You are calculating this for quarter two. Okay, quarter two, right? So the shortage in the market, and because you saw it from quarter one to quarter two, it went up. This shortage in the market is outside the control of the sales manager. Come on, decide, tell me yes or no. Market shortage is outside the control of the operational team. Hello, reply me yes or no. If you think it is outside their control, this means the standard should be revised. Initially, it was 14 and 8 in quarter one. Initially, when you made the standard at the initial phase, the market size, the size of the market was 14 and 8. When you made your standard, the original standard, let's write here what is the original standard first of all. Let's write here the original standard for nurses, for doctors in quarter one. Okay. Now, why I'm using word quarter one is because before quarter one, you might have set the standard, right? Before quarter one, you made the standard. Okay. So, according to the question, the market was 14 million in dollars. That's the overall market value. Okay, market value of 14 million. And as per the question, the price of each type of nurse is 1,000. The price of each doctor is 2,000 per week. Okay. And in quarter one, the company estimated market share was 30% of for temporary and 40% for doctors. So let's work out your original standard. Are you with me? Yes, you are, I know. Now, let's have a look here. The overall market was 14 million in terms of value, okay, because it is dollar sign given here, divided by the price per nurse is 1000. If I divide this with 1000, I'll get the total market volume, of 14,000, which means the total market demand for nurses is 14,000. Total market demand for nurses is 14,000. Are you with me? Are you with me? So people need to understand this value is in terms of dollar, which is the total value of the market. You have to divide this with the price per nurse of 1000 to get total number of nurses in demand for quarter one, 14,000. Now, out of this, okay, out of this, 30% is what we budgeted in quarter one, 4,200. Okay, 4,200 was our original standard. This was my original standard in quarter one at the start. For doctors, 8 million divided by 2,000, 8 million divided by 2,000 into your market share of 40%. Your market share of 40% means 1,600. Okay, 1,600. So the original standard for nurses that we made at the start of quarter one would have been 4,200 and 1,600. But later on, by the time we went on to quarter two, it changed. The market changed. The market size got bigger. Now, if market size got bigger and this is not in our control, if this is not in our control, this means we need to revise the standard. We need to revise the standard. Okay? We need to revise the standard. Are you with me? Now what is the market? So see here it says at the end of quarter one, it prepared the budgeted revenue for quarter two. It based these budgeted figures on the assumption the company would maintain the same market share as quarter one. So in quarter two as well, your market share will be similar to quarter one. Okay? Similar to quarter one. Are you with me? Yes? Similar to quarter one. So now, just have a look. If the market now went to 18.9 million and the price per nurse is 1,000, so this means now the market demand is 18,900 nurses. 18,900 nurses. 18,900 nurses. That's the overall market size. And in this big size, this is your revised market size. The market has changed. So in this change of market size, your share remains 30%. The market changed. Your share now will change in absolute terms. The market got bigger. So 30% of the bigger market now would be 5670. Similarly, the market for doctors went to 8.2 million. Each doctor values 2000. Considering this, your share is 40%. The market increased. So your share of 40% means your volume for doctors will increase, and this will be 1640. Understood? So because the market size got bigger, the market size now has been revised. So your volume will also be revised. Your share will also be revised in absolute terms. Percentage is fixed in absolute term. Now I have original standard that was at the start of quarter 1, and now I have revised standard at the start of quarter 2, because I'm calculating for quarter 2. Are you with me, guys? Say yes or no, everyone. Once you are able to determine this, once you have figured out this, once you know what is the revised standard, then everything is khalas. The question is khalas. Nothing is left now. Okay. Now, standard contribution. Standard contribution. Standard contribution. So what is that? The standard contribution. Standard contribution margin is 80%, same as quarter 1. 80%. Standard contribution margin is 80%. Okay? Done? So the price is clear. 1000 and 2000. 1000, 80%. 800, 2000, 80%. 1600. This is your standard contribution. The standard contribution will not change. The standard contribution will not change. Khalas. Done. Original standard, revised standard, standard contribution per unit. This is my cost card. Once I have cost card, the rest is just a peanut. 10 marks. Imagine, these are easy numbers. 10 marks will take less time, less effort, more marks. Alas, the first requirement was also easy marks. Those were easy numbers. Just the explanation you needed to write. That's it. Okay? Market size variance. Market share variance. Okay? Now, let's work out. Remember the shortcuts. It's a sales variance. So my rule of O versus R for planning and R versus A for operational would just be reversed. Due to sales variances. Rules that I mentioned earlier of O versus R and R versus A pertains to cost variances. But now it's sales. You know, cost and sales are inverse. As cost goes up, it's adverse. As sales goes up, it's favorable. Excellent, favorable. The rules will reverse here. Market size is a planning variance. So R versus O, original standard. Okay. Here it's A versus R, revised standard. Khalas. So do we have the actual figures for quarter 2? Yes, we have. We have this in millions, no problem. We have this in millions, no problem. So let's work out market share variance first. Actual versus revised. And remember, it's a volume variance that you are calculating, okay? So the volume variance formula, you know. What is the formula of volume variance? Actual sales minus revised sales into standard contribution. Into standard contribution, okay? Guys, are you all with me or not? Following me or not? Now, for nurses, you have to work out separately. For doctors, separately. Let's work out. In one cell, the actual sales is 5.3 million. So, divided by 1000 is the price. So, I'll divide this to get what? To work out what? Number of actual units. Number of actual units. 5.3 million is the revenue, divided by 1000 will give you actual units. Okay. So this is actual that we have worked out here. Minus revised. What is the revised figure for nurses? The revised for nurses is 5670. Are you with me? 5670. Yes. Done. Multiply this with standard contribution per unit of nurses. Standard contribution per unit for nurses. Are you with me, everyone? Say yes or no. So once you are done with this, you will get the answer for nurses. You will get the answer for nurses. Okay? Done? Yes or no? 296,000. Negative. When the answer is negative, you know my formulas. If it is negative, it's adverse. Khalas. Adverse. Khalas. So remember, 5.3 million is the actual revenue, divided by 1000 is the selling price. You worked out the actual nurses that you have used. Okay? Actual nurses. Of that you actually went, that you have sent for the services, minus the revised nurses demand into contribution. Done. Now I will copy this. I'll work smartly. Spreadsheet is something that will save your time. I'll go here. In fact, I will copy this all and will paste here. Now, see the magic. Now I am at size variance, planning variance. So it's R versus O. R versus O. Just see what I'm doing. Just see what I'm doing, my friends. You will love it. You will love it. Revised versus actual. So this C1. Okay, let me show you again. I know what C1 is, but just for your ease, okay? Revised is okay. Let's remove this. Yeah. Now revised is C1 minus original is 4200 into standard contribution. See, simple. Say yes or no. Revised minus actual. Revised minus, sorry, not actual. Revised minus original standard. You got the answer. Okay, see, is the formula clear? Is the formula clear to all of you? Say yes or no, everyone. So this is the answer. Okay? And when the answer is positive, it is favorable. Just check R versus O into contribution. That's it, khalas. Easy? Doctors. Actual 3.6 million divided by price per doctor. Okay? Minus revised 1640. All right? Multiplied by standard contribution of doctor is 1600. Okay? 256,000. This is positive. Positive means favorable, favorable, favorable. Are you with me, everyone? Say yes or no. So you can see here, actual units minus revised units into standard contribution. Alas, copy, 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 paste here, make the necessary change. Okay, R versus O, R versus O, R versus O, R versus O, and you will get the answer. And the answer is 256,000 adverse. Are you with me, everyone? No, it's not 250,000 adverse. Let's check what I've done here. Yeah, there is a small error. The revised is this minus original, and the answer is 64,000. Positive means this is favorable. So I can show you what I've done, guys. Revised minus original into contribution. Okay? Okay? Water. Water is water. Nothing can replace water. Okay? Done, everyone? Perfect? Understood? So, once you have this, then there is nothing difficult. Ahmed, you can ask the question in the chat box, please. Okay? So 10 marks, presentation, clear. This is just for your guidance, the first 3 points. Even if you remove this, doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. So I hope this is clear to all of you. Khalas, perfect. Now guys, if you are clear with this, let's move towards the next part. Very interesting one. It relates to cheat company, and I think we haven't gone through that paragraph, so I need to read the paragraph here. Let's read. This part of the scenario relates to requirement C. The market size and market share variance have also been calculated for quarter 2 of one of the competitor cheat company. The name is cheater company. These variances are as follows. So they have done the calculation for cheater company. Cheater company market size is adverse, market share is favorable, which means right now by looking at cheater company results, it means cheater company sales manager performance real one is good, whereas cheater company planning variance is adverse, which means planning variance resulted in a planning error for which operational team like sales manager is not responsible, and that is why we can see the segregation bifurcation, which means the sales manager real performance looking at market share is good. Let me answer the question here. Sir, are not going to do original versus revise for planned, revise actual for operational? Yes. This is what I've done. For planning, it's original versus revised or revised versus original. I just made it vice versa because of sales variance. And for operational, it's actual versus revised. Ahmed, what is the problem then? Yeah, this is what I've done. But I just made it sure that I will inverse it like R versus O and A versus R. That's it. All right. The cheater company holds same percentage of each market as MTC, the one that we were working before. Both have the same percentage of market, which is market share of 30 and 40% remains the same. Okay. It also uses rolling budget and prepared budgeted revenue figures using exactly the same assumptions like MTC. So it also has the same market share. However, when cheat company sales director had to provide market size figures for quarter 2, market size figure for quarter 2, cheat company sales manager to accounts department, she deliberately reported these figures 30% lower by excluding the market segment relating to maternity units. Cheater. Sales director deliberately reported 30% lower market size figures, which means deliberately underreported the market size. The accounts department were unaware of this. Discuss the action of sales director at Cheatco and how this have impacted on the variances which have been calculated. Now, this question, this theoretical question is not actually requiring you to assess the performance of them, but you are required, the object is action of the sales director that you have to discuss. Is it the right action or the wrong action? And how this action affected the variances. My friends, are you understanding the question? This is not a question which we normally solve, discuss the performance of the sales manager. It's a bit different one. The element is different, the object is different, the requirement is different. This is for 6 marks. Is this application based or knowledge based? In this, do you have to use the scenario? Do you have to apply your things in the scenario? Say yes or no. Yes, it's an application based question. Ask yourself, yaar, application based question. Okay, interesting one. Interesting one. Very interesting one. Now listen, guys. The performance of the the action of the sales director. Let's first analyze it, what he did actually. He deliberately reduced the market 30% lower. Okay, 30% lower. Now just do some calcs here first. The overall Q2 market was 18.9, okay? 18.9 divided by 1000 is, you know what? 1000 is the price, okay? So if you divide this, so you get a market of 18,900, and we did work out earlier as well. The overall market was 18,900. Is that true? Yeah. Now, if he underreported it, which means he reduced it by 30%. So actually what he reported to the accounts department or whatever the department that is, that the market is how much? Let's work out. Huh? 13,230. See, the market that was 18,900 in Q2, the market size that was 18,900 in Q2, he reported that to be 13,230. 13,230. This is less than Q1 of 14,000, even less than Q1 of 14,000. This means the original market of 14,000, original standard of 14,000 versus revised of 13,230. What is he doing? Deliberately, he dropped the market size to 13,230. Something that was 18,900 overall market, he dropped it to 13,230. Are you with me? Yes or no? Which means if I assume that my revised standard will be based on 13,230 and my original standard will be based on 14,000, this means my original standard is based on 14,000 and my revised standard is based on 13,000. This means my standard for sales has gone down, and that is why it's an adverse planning variance. See, we don't have to work out. We'll not waste time on calculating it. But it's logical because the revised has gone down. The revised is less than the original. You can see this is the revised. This is the original. The revised is less than the original. Obviously, planning will be adverse. So somehow he showed planning to be adverse by reducing what? Market size overall. Let's check for, this was for nurses, right? Let's check for doctors. The question is not of performance assessment. That's why I want to change my approach solving it. And that is what is required in this exam. 18.8.2 million divided by 2000 is equals to, I don't know what is the overall market size. We can calculate it. 8.2 divided by 2000, 4,100. So the market overall for doctors was 4,100, but he underreported it 30% down, which means what was he reporting? 4,100 into 0.7 is 2,870 is what he's reporting. 2,870 is what he's reporting, which again is less than quarter one, 4,000. Now see, the original standard is more than the revised for sales. When original standard is more than the revised for sales, it is adverse? Yes. It is adverse? Yes. O versus R. O versus R. That's why this is adverse. And he is so sharp. Deliberately, he reduced them. Now, it's, see, MTC, the company that we were considering before this, both work in the same market. So if the market has been, if the market has increased for MTC, it will also increase for cheat company. If MTC is experiencing a market increase, so cheat should also experience. When MTC is experiencing this, why not cheat? But cheat company has done cheating. The sales director has done a cheating. He showed that overall market went down in quarter two. He created an impression that from quarter one, the market, instead of going up, has gone down. Which means your standards now are lower. And when your standards are lower, automatically your bad performance will be considered as a good performance. And that is why you can say market share is favorable for them. Market share is favorable for them. Because your standard got lower, your actual performance automatically will be more than the lower standard. Your revised standard went lower, your revised standard went down, your performance of actual automatically will look better in relation to lower revised standard, will look better in relation to lower revised standard, and that is why it is market share variance favorable. Market share is favorable. So what action, what do you think about his action? Was his action deliberate manipulation? Yes or no? Yes. I'll answer everything here. Now let's see. The sales director action to report the market size 30% down compared to quarter two overall market to accounts department resulted in nurses market at 13,230 instead of 18,900. See, I'm using the figures here, the one that I calculated above. Arey bhai, 18,900, yeah. And for doctors at 2870 instead of 4100. Okay, this clearly will make the revised standard lower than the original standard based on the Q1 market of 14,000 for nurses and 4,000 for doctors. Okay? Okay. Because see, what I have to answer about the actions and how this impacted the variances. How is impacted the variances? Okay? Okay, full stop. The impact of this is clear that market size variance showed adverse results and market share is showing favorable results due to lower revised standard compared to actual result. This is the impact. This is the impact. Okay? So it is clear, deliberate action to manipulate the results and to show favorable sales performance as the manager, which will only be judged on the basis of market share variance. Okay? So the performance of sales director in actual is not good because of deliberately showing market share favorable results okay by providing wrong market size information. Okay, understood? So he knew that my performance will be assessed on operational variance. He knew that my performance will be judged against market size variance. So he manipulated the things. He manipulated the things. Are you with me? He manipulated the things. And why he is manipulating the things? I already made it clear, to show his performance good. Actually, he hasn't done well based on market share variance, because the share variance is favorable because of his deliberate cheating. Cheater, deliberate cheating to show better results. Are you with me? Yes or no? Yes or no? Everyone? Yes or no? See, I have to act according to the requirement. I have to solve according to the requirement. Now, I will show this working in bracket here. Okay, I will show this working in bracket here. Okay, clear? Similarly, we'll show this working for doctors here and here. Got it, everyone? So you have to read the requirement and then you have to respond to it. It's an application-based question, asking not to assess the performance directly, asking you to discuss what actions, discuss his actions and how it impacted the variance. So I did discuss his actions. Also mention how this impact, see the word impact, impacted the variance, and then his actions were not correct. It's a deliberate manipulation to show good results. Khalas. Everyone, say something, yaar. Remember, your examinable objects should be reflected in the answer. They asked you the actions of sales director. Actions sales director. My answer mentioned this as deliberate act, deliberate manipulation. Okay. Somebody will ask you, discuss the actions. You said deliberate manipulation. You answered according to the object. Number two, the question was how it impacted. My answer did include the word impact by mentioning this impacted adversely on size variance. I always say my students, a basic technique is whatever is your object, the name of the object, like impact, action, use those words in your answer to give clarity to the examiner that what you asked about the action, this is my answer. What you asked about the impact, this is my answer. if you will use the examinable objects in your answers, automatically your direction will not deviate, plus reader will find it. Okay, I asked about impact and I can see the word impact. First impression is the last impression. I asked about the action and he mentioned the action is a deliberate act. This is a tip. Note down the tip. Nobody will tell you. Happy everyone? Say yes or no. So we are done with this one. Done with this one. Great. Now, the next area, linear programming, limiting factor, single limiting factor, multiple limiting factor. Single limiting factor means only one limiting factor, material or labor. Multiple limiting factor says more than one limiting factor. Material could be a limiting factor. At the same time, labor could be the limiting factor. At the same time, machine hours would be the limiting factor. Anything. Okay. So in case of multiple limiting factor, we need to use linear programming. Linear programming. Okay. For that, it is important to determine the object. Is it profit maximization that you are covering or cost minimization? But generally, it's profit maximization that we are dealing every time. In case of multiple limiting factor, we can bring the answer either using graph-based approach, the graph is given to us, or through simple simultaneous equation method. When there is no graph is available, you can find out the answer based on simultaneous equation as well. So remember, if it is graph based approach, you find out using ISO technique, ISO line, through which you can find out the answer. If it is non-graph based, so simultaneous equation will give you the answer. So when to find out the answer in case of linear programming, we have two approaches, graph based or directly non-graph based using simultaneous equations. If it is graph based, so we use ISO line here. Okay. Now, some important things that you should know while solving linear programming. When you found out the answer, either through graph-based ISO line or simultaneous equations, when you found out the answer, so remember, the lines on which the answer is, the lines at which the answer is, those are known as critical lines. Critical line means the resources will be 100% utilized at these lines. Like if it is material line, 100% material will be used. If it is a labor line, 100% labor hours will be consumed. Rule of thumb, just remember this $1 million tip, khalas. So whenever you see optimum point on the line of material, labor, machine hours, remember these are known as critical lines, and the utilization of the resource is 100%, which means you have completely used it. You have completely used the machine hours, material kgs or labor hours. And because you have used it 100%, you need more extra hours, more extra kgs to produce more, and that is where shadow price comes into play. Shadow price comes into play, which means if you somehow obtain one more kg additional, one more labor hour additional, how much extra will you earn because of that 1 hour? How much extra will you earn because of that kg is known as extra contribution you will earn, is known as shadow price. Shadow price. So what is shadow price? One more additional kg, one more additional hour the contribution that you will earn is shadow price. But the original question is, why you need one more? Why you need one more? Because I have completely utilized my hours. Because I've completely utilized my kgs. Because my answer was on critical lines. Now, if a line on which optimum answer doesn't exist, if optimum answer is not at a line, it could be material, would be labor, that line is known as non-critical. Non-critical. So what is a non-critical line? Utilization of that line is not 100%. When the optimum answer is not at a line, so that line is known as non-critical. Utilization is not 100%. This means if you have 1000 hours, you haven't used it. 1000 kgs, you haven't used it. This is where slack will come into play. Slack means underutilization of a resource. What? Underutilization of a resource. So listen, you have a graph in front of you, for example. You know the optimum point. You just saw on the graph the lines where optimum point is lying. For you, it's clear. These are critical lines. Utilization will be 100%. To get one more resource, we need to work out shadow price. Okay. Then look for the lines where optimum answer doesn't exist. Optimum point doesn't exist. Those are non-critical lines. Those lines, resources have not been fully utilized. Slack will be there. Underutilization of a resource will be there. And whenever there is underutilization, slack is there. Understood? $1 million tip. $1 million tip. Just remember this and see, this will be massive for your answers. Let's use this and let's move to section B question. It's time to move towards section B question. Some important tips and tricks. Actively read the scenario. Your My Exam Performance Report gives you the feedback about your section B by bifurcating that into knowledge based, application based, narrative based, and I forgot it, calculation based. Application based is section B, where you have to read the scenario and link 5 OTs with the scenario. If your application based marks are less, you have to improve in section B. Massively you have to improve in section B. So read the scenario. Fill in the blanks. Rounding of instructions, please learn it. Still you have 1 month time. Please, 1,000, millions, round up, round down, nearest 1,000, nearest million, 2 decimal place, 1 decimal place. Chat GPT will teach you this correctly, I'm sure. This is what I can rely on ChatGPT only. Complete in 18 minutes. It's a 10-mark question, complete in 18 minutes. Try to start with MTQ that is easy. Sorry, this point first. Start with easy MTQ first. Now there are 3 case studies. Start with a case study that you are more good at. Skim it quickly. One is of variance, one is of budgets, one is of CVP, one is of pricing. You're like, I'm cheetah in CVP. I'm excellent in pricing. I'm a lion in ABC. I'll start with this first. I'm a cheetah in ABC. You start with ABC first. Because if you start with your strength, you may save your time. Once you save your time, you can invest that time somewhere else. Khalas. The MTQ that you have started first with, or the MTQ that you are solving, in that MTQ, there are easy OTs, minimum 1 to 2. 1 to 2. try to solve those OTs first. That will save your time. That will save your time. So if you solve easy OTs first, maybe 2, you gain 4 marks. Out of 10, 4 done. Out of 10, 4 done. You need 6 to pass in one case study. Just one more correct of 2 marks, 6 done. 6 done out of 10. Khalas, go home. Khalas. 6 done. So solve easy OTs first. Grip 2 to 4 marks first. So just imagine in every case study, if you score 6 marks, case study 1, 6 out of 10. Case study 2, 6 out of 10. Case study 3, 6 out of 10. Which means in every case study, 3 OTs you have to make sure are correct. 3 OTs only. Which means 18 marks out of 30s in section B. 18 marks out of 30s in section B means what? What? Pass. Pass. 6 marks every MTQ. 3 MTQ means 18 marks out of 30. Pass. Strategy to pass should be clear. Easy things. And in section B, it is clearly mentioned. If you don't know the first question, you may go to second. You don't know second, you may go to third. Solve third, fourth, fifth, then come back to first. You can. There is no dependency of any question on each other. Each other. Are these tips useful? Say yes or no. Are these tips useful? Say yes or no. In this room, I'm alone. There's no one with me. You are the only people I'm talking to. Is this clear? You can see me in front of the camera. I cannot see you. So at least one thing you can do is respond here, please. Otherwise, looking in the camera, I'll feel like I'm a stupid talking to myself. Great, great. So I'm not talking to myself. Congratulations, I'm not alone here. It seems that I'm alone, but I'm not alone. All right, let's begin with another question. Enjoying everyone? Enjoying the webinar? Yes or no? You can see my energy here. Let's start. Let's read. Home electronic manufacturers electrical appliances for domestic use. It is made up of 2 divisions. Small appliance division. Small appliance division is 1 division, okay? 2 of the products manufactured by small appliance are known as B and T. The cost card per unit for each of the product is as follows. B and T. B and T. Details are given here. In the first quarter of the year, read it, concentrate, see which question pertains to which division, which product. In first quarter of the year, supply of material was restricted to 2000 grams. I have seen question like these do create problem because they change information. In first quarter, one is the limiting factor. In the next quarter, something else becomes a limiting factor. So change it. It is now April, and it has been identified the material will continue to be limited to 2000 kg per month. It is now April, okay? April. But also labor will be restricted 32 hours per month. Now see, in the first quarter, only material was the limiting factor. In first quarter ends it March, January, February, March, January, February, March. The next quarter, it is April. April means next quarter. In April, material is the limiting factor. With material, labor is also the limiting factor. In first quarter, one limiting factor. In second quarter, two limiting factors. You guys don't understand this in the paper. The management accountant has supplied formulas for the production constraint as follows. You can see two equations. Clear? Two limiting factor, two equations. Two limiting factor, two equations. Khalas. Done. Now this is small appliance division. Then we have large appliance division. Let's do one thing. Let's not read large appliance division until and unless we see the question of large appliance. The first question relates to product T. Product T. Okay. First quarter. Product T. First quarter. Product T. First quarter. Product T. First quarter. So this means this first question relates to first quarter. Small appliance division. First quarter, small appliance division. I'm not reading large right now. In section B, you can play like this, yaar. You can make it simple for you. Don't read too much of information. Okay? Don't read too much of information. Bhaiya, please no tongue fine, please. These computers sometimes doesn't work properly. They get crack. Thank you, yaar. They waste so much of time. Great. Now guys, listen, yaar. Listen. Product T. Q1. In quarter one, material was the limiting factor. Yes or no? Say yes or no. Only one limiting factor. Say yes or no. This means material is limiting factor. This means in quarter one, it's a case of single limiting factor. Single limiting factor. Contribution per unit of limiting factor. Per unit of limiting factor. This means what you have to work out? Is it contribution per unit you have to work out? Or you have to work out contribution per limiting factor, means contribution per R of limiting factor or per kg of limiting factor. So because material was limiting factor, so we'll work out contribution per kg of limiting factor. Okay? So contribution per unit. This should take very less time. 120 minus 15 minus 35 minus 18. Okay? 120 minus 15 minus 35 minus 18 should give you 52 per unit. Okay. Material is limiting factor. So material kgs per unit. Material kgs per unit. Can you work out? Yes, you can. The material cost is 15 and 5 per kg is the rate. 5 per kg is the rate. 15 divided by 5. So 3 kgs per unit. So contribution per kg of limiting factor is 17.33333 per kg. The question said to the nearest whole dollar. It's a fill in the blank question. To the nearest whole dollar. Nearest whole dollar. So the answer is 17.333. So look, digits after decimal. The digits after decimal are more than 5 or less than 5. The rule is of 5. If it is more than 5, round up to 18. If it is less than 5, round down to 70. 70. 70. Now, if any stupid writing here, this will not get the marks. Any stupid writing, this will not get the marks. You will only get marks if you write this. 70. Round down. Round down. The rule is of 5. After the decimal, if it is less than 5, 17. Khalas. The first question is of single limiting factor because in quarter 1, just one limiting factor was there. You have to pick this information. Got it? Nothing. Again saying nothing. Done. Clear? Next. See, using simultaneous equation. The method is simultaneous equation. Calculate total contribution from product B and T in April. Now the month is April. The month is April. The month is April. Here it is. Products name B and T, which means small appliances. The focus is on a small appliance. The focus is on product B and T. Month of April. B and T. Month of April. B and T. Month of April. So this means I have to use this information here. Simultaneous equation method is what I have to use. No graph given. No graph given. This is linear programming now. Now we have jumped into linear programming. From single limiting factor, we have jumped into linear programming. You people don't understand this in exam. So for linear programming, either I can find out the answer using graph-based approach, which further uses ISO line, or simultaneous equation method directly. Here there is no graph given, no graph given, no graph given. Simultaneous method will work for me. Okay. So material 2B plus 3T 2000. Labor 3B 5T 3200. With me, yes or no? Okay. Equations are given. Yes. If it is a section B question, you can directly solve using calculator. If it is section A question, you can directly solve using calculator. If it is CRQ, you cannot use calculator. So this is section B, you can directly use calculator. Should I use calculator or I'll show you how to solve it? I think I need to solve it, okay? You can use calculator directly. So I'll just solve it for you quickly. What is the rule? I will use elimination method. What is the rule? I'll eliminate t from both the equations. T from both the equations. So what is my shortcut? If I want to remove t, so I'll use the figure of t equation 1 to be multiplied with equation 2. I'll use the figure of t equation 2 to be multiplied with equation 1. That's my way of solving. Elimination method. Elimination method. The figure of equation 2 to be multiplied with equation 1. The figure of equation 1 to be multiplied with equation 2. And I'll keep one figure in negative terms. Because to eliminate, the rule is value should be same, sign should be opposite. Say with me, value should be same, sign should be opposite. So this is what I'll achieve. 5 2s are 10b plus 5 3s are 15t is equals to 10,000. Equation 2, 3 3s are 9b negative. 3 5s are 15t negative. 3 into 3200 is 9600 negative. So is this done? Is this done? Yes. The signs are opposite. The signs are opposite. The signs are opposite. And the value is same. So what you are left with? 1b is equals to 400. 400. So b is equals to 400. Alas. Now when I have b here, when I have b here, I can put this into any equation. Put into equation 1, for example. 2, 400 plus 3 equals to 2000. Put into equation 1. Okay? 800 plus 3t, 2000. 3t equals to 1200. Okay? T equals to 400. 400. Okay? Clear? So the optimum point is B 400, T 400. I think this is something you guys know how to do it at this point of time. Arey, say something. Yes or no? Understood? Okay? Now, the contribution. Let's work out the contribution per unit. 80 minus 10 minus 21 minus 12 will give you contribution for B. What is the figure? 37. For T, I have already worked out. That was 52. For T, it was 52. Don't ask me what I have done now. Contribution per unit. 37 for B, 52 for T. I need to work out total contribution. Total contribution. B, 400 units into 37 plus T, 400 units into 52. Okay, the answer is 35,600. Khalas. Everyone, are you with me? I hope you know how to work out contribution per unit of 37 and 52, okay? 52 I did work out earlier. Got it? Simple simultaneous equation based method, no need for graphs. Simple, simple. You can even use your scientific calculator for section B and A to come to this optimum point, okay? Done? Easy? Clear? Okay. Next question. Theory. Theory should take less time. Which of the following statements about use of linear programming to solve limiting factor problems are true? Okay, this is general theory. Let's read it. Linear programming method helps to identify optimum selling price for a product. Come on. Linear programming for optimum selling price. Linear programming tells you optimum production plan that I worked out in the previous part. 400B, 400T. Wrong. Wrong. Selling price is wrong. Wrong. Red. Wrong. Second, slack occurs when more than maximum available of limited resources required. No. Slack occurs when less than is the inequality. Less than maximum available is required, not for more than. When you have a restriction like 2000 kgs, you can use max. Now, if you use less than 2000, like 1800, like 1700, like 1300, the difference is slack. For example, if you use 1600 and the maximum was 2000, 1600 you used it, maximum was 2000, slack is 400. 400 is slack, the difference. So it is related to it is related to less than maximum available. So here the word should have been less than maximum available. This is wrong. Less than. Okay? So I did explain to you. 1600 you used it, 2000 you can use it, difference is 400 slack. So both the statements are wrong. Neither one nor two. Neither one nor two. Neither one nor two. Okay? Say something or nothing. Only thing. Okay. Next. Wow, what a question. What would be the shadow price of material, okay, in large appliance division to the nearest whole number? I haven't gone through large appliance, so now I will read it. The division also manufacture, the large appliance division manufacture two products, freezer F and dishwasher D. Contribution of F is 150, contribution of dishwasher is 200. This is large appliance, okay? Both products uses same resources, several of which are in short supply. Short supply clearly means restriction. Maximum availability is short supply. So you have only 4,000 hours in April for labor and 2,500 kg of material and 3200 machine hours are available. Got it? These are the maximum available. The management accountant has applied linear programming and defined following constraints. Okay, so these are the 4 limiting factor, which means the maximum material that you can use is 2500, the maximum labor hour that you can use is 4000, the maximum machine time that you have is 3200, and the demand for D maximum is 250. No graph, nothing. 4 constraints are given to you. 4 constraints, 4 limiting factors. Okay. Labor and machine time. Labor and machine time are identified as binding constraints. Now, what this means? Labor and machine time are binding constraint. What this means? Optimum point. Optimum point. Your answer is at these 2 lines. The optimum production plan of 240F and 200D is at these 2 lines. Binding constraint out of 4 means these 2 lines are the one where your answer is. You haven't worked out. There is no graph available. It's just your concept. It is just your knowledge that you have to apply here. Knowledge, apply here. Knowledge, apply here. Binding constraint means these 2 are the lines where your optimum point is. They have already told me. They already told me I don't have to do anything. Out of 4, these 2 are the limiting, these 2 are the critical constraint line. If you talk in my language, these 2 are the critical constraint line. Binding, critical is same thing. In my language, the optimum answer is at these 2 lines, These are critical constraint lines. So when there are critical constraint lines, the resources used are 100%. And you work out shadow price. Okay? Done. So this is the optimum point. This is the optimum point. Now, what is the shadow price of material? Are they asking shadow price for labor? Are they asking shadow price for machine? They are not asking shadow price for labor. They are not asking shadow price for machine. If they would have asked me for labor or machine, I would have done the calculation of shadow price. They are asking me shadow price for material. And material is not a binding constraint here. Material is not a critical constraint line here. Material is a non-critical constraint line. I told you, so simple to remember. If answer is not at the material line, material is a non-critical constraint line, which means material consumption will not be 100%. Will not be 100%. There is slack available. There is slack available. There is underutilization. And when there is underutilization, you don't need additional kg. When food is left in your plate, why would you ask food from someone else's plate? Why would you ask someone else to give you his food when your food is available, yaar? You will be considered as greedy. See, your plate is full. Why are you asking me to give you food? So, material is not the limiting factor. You greedy. You have your own food in your plate. Why need 1 more kg? So, no need for shadow price. No need for shadow price. So what is the answer? This. This is the answer. 0. Do you have that courage to write 0? Do you have that guts to write 0? Do you have that confidence to write 0? You should have such confidence and guts in you. Yes, binding shadow price only relates to binding constraint, critical constraint lines, or the lines where optimum answer exist. Halas. Lines where answer is not will never have shadow price. Never. Got it? So your plate with food, don't ask food from someone else. Critical lines, shadow price, yes. Non-critical lines, shadow price, no. Halas. Easy. Happy? Say yes or no. Will this work for you? Last, which of the following statements about linear programming method in large applied division are true? Not all the questions will tell you limiting factor. You are lucky when the question is mentioning you limiting factor. If the question hasn't mentioned it, then you have to find out yourself the optimum point. Okay? The optimum point is what you have to find out then. Okay? Now, guys, let's solve this one. Product D has a slack value. Does product D has a slack value? Yes. Just have a look. Your optimum point indicated 240F, 200D. According to your optimum point, how many D will you make? How many D will you make? Say 200. And how much D demand you have? 250. How much D demand you have? 250. So there is a slack of 50. Slack of 50. Slack pertains to resources as well as demand. So D has a slack value of 50 because your answer is 200 and the demand is 250. You didn't fulfill the demand 100%. You didn't fulfill the demand 100%. 50 is the slack. 50, 50, 250 minus 200, 50 is the slack. Got it? Next. Contribution of 76 will be earned from the optimum production plan. I don't know. I need to check. Let's check it. Contribution. What is the optimum plan? 240F, 200D. 240F, 200D. What is the contribution of F? 150. What is the contribution of D? 200. Please do the calculation. Is the answer 76,000? Yes or no? Is the answer 76,000? Yes or no? Is the answer 76,000? Yes or no? Yes. What kind of question is this? So easy. So easy. They have given you the contribution per unit They have given you optimum production plan. Yaar, why you guys don't pass the paper? I don't understand why you guys don't pass the paper. So easy. Everything is given here. Class 2 or 3 student can even do this, yaar. Please focus. Please. Last. Labor and machine time intersect at the optimum point if shown on the graph. Rizwan, Maniya told you right now that if there is a graph available, the optimum point will be at the lines of labor and machine. Labor and machine. I told you this. You can even close your eyes and can imagine it. If your optimum point, if your binding constraint is machine and labor, they told you themselves that these are the binding constraint. This means on the graph, these two lines are the one where optimum point is there. The optimum point is at these two lines. Is it like these are the lines and this will be the optimum point? Labor, machine. Yes, this is true. They told me where the answer is. Now they're asking me, are these the line where the optimum point will be? Yes, yaar. Love you, examiner, love you. What kind of person are you? What kind of creature are you? You told me everything in this question. You told me everything in this question and you are just reconfirming and we are like, paper is so difficult. PM is so difficult. I've given this paper 100 times, I cannot pass. Then you have to go to Burj Khalifa. I don't know whether you can go there or not right now. You go to there and jump from there. Simply jump from there. The tickets are also cheaper right now. What are you doing here? Examiner told you the answer. He's just cross-checking it. He's just reconfirming. And we are like, very difficult paper. I'm not playing with you people. Please, I beg you, please. This is so easy. Work on your concepts, yaar. Work on your concepts. The lectures are covering everything. I've made this 100 times clear through my $1 million points of linear programming. Go and check my video if I'm lying here. Got it? Understood? Say something. So this is the answer. All the three statements are correct. Khalas. That's it for today. Enjoyed it, everyone? Enjoyed the first day of webinar of PM. Come on, yaar. I made so much of effort. Come on. You should clap for me. Seriously, you should clap for me. I hope not over exaggerating here. I gave my best. So if you liked it, in the comment section, all those who will watch later on in form of recordings, I need your feedbacks in the comment section. I need your comments, okay? I need your comment in the comment section. Those who will watch in form of recordings at our YouTube channel. Right? Thank you very much. Day 2 is tomorrow. Be there, ready. We'll focus on more new techniques and areas and we'll make day 2 superb for you. Thank you very much. Love you all. Take care. See you. Bye.